Hello everyone and welcome to Grand Prix Miami. I'm Glenn Jones, joined by Craig Wescoe, Pro Tour champion. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
You've come to Grand Prix Miami and standard format, of course, and you're looking to, it looks like, run it back with Judge's Familiar and Dried Millet. You're playing Boros Weenie, I guess. It's a mostly mono-white weenie. You're splashing red for Searing Spear and Slayer's Stronghold.
Yep.
Slayer's Stronghold seems to be one of the most powerful incentives we play in this deck. You're obviously playing 4 of them, so clearly you feel that way. What makes Slayer's Stronghold so impactful?
Well, it's basically a Civic Saber that taps for mana.
Pretty good.
Now, it's one of the ways to give the deck a whole lot of reach. So whenever you draw like a Champion of the Parish or a Dryad Militant or a Judge's Familiar on like turn 7, you know, that usually doesn't do much.
Sure.
But whenever you play it and then immediately hit them for like 3 or 4 damage with it, then suddenly your worst cards become good cards.
Yeah, like worst case scenario is basically a lava spike at that stage, right? And
right.
You know, they only start with 20 life. You got to get them eventually.
And when we're talking about a deck full of first strike and double strike, then giving a creature plus 2/0 really makes combat difficult for the opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Thalia obviously is close to unbeatable in combat with a +2/+0 at her back. There's not a lot of creatures that can block that safely. So speaking of your creatures, we already mentioned the Judge's Familiar and the Dryad Militant, who have served you well before. Champion of the Parish has also done some work on your behalf, and you've got all of them together here.
Yep.
It's a lot of 1-drops.
Yeah, I feel it's real important in this style of deck to really start the pressure on turn 1. That's why I have 10 1-drops in the deck. And like I said, with Slayer's Stronghold, it makes the 1-drops good later in the game as well. So there's really no reason not to be playing this many 1-drops.
It's worth pointing out that Slayer's Stronghold is also not a legendary land. You guys at home, you can definitely Slayer Stronghold creatures multiple times or multiple creatures.
Yep.
It's not bad. Judge's Familiar, you've got the Force Spike with legs, which, you know, it's been a reasonable card. But you've also got Thalia, whose Sphere of Resistance is. The combination of these seems like it really slows down your control opponents.
Yeah, and it's especially potent against Farseek decks. So you play Judge's Familiar, and they go, well, I'm not going to just, you know, run my Farseek into a Judge's Familiar, right? And then you play Thalia, and they're like, well, yeah, okay, now I'm going to run it into the Judge's Familiar, but I'm already a turn late now, and just like, and now I'm casting Silverblade Paladins, and like Restoration Angels, and I'm strongholding them, and they're just like, yeah, this didn't go quite as planned, I'm not really ramping into anything.
Yeah, so you guys at home might want to just consider trading with that Judge's Familiar in future, apparently. I'm just saying, Craig, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Your removal suite, you're featuring Fiend Hunter, a card that I think has been getting a lot better in Standard lately. It's been getting into the Reanimator decks, just showing up a lot more often, and in conjunction with Searing Spear, you know, you're pretty effective as you can go with, you know, obviously to the face with the Searing Spear, and Fiend Hunter is himself a creature, also capable of learning how to slay.
Yeah, he's really good with Restoration Angel because you can kill a token, then you can blink it to actually get rid of something real later on in the game. Or one of the plays that I do is I just take out a Mana Elf. So if I'm playing against like a Junk Reanimator deck, then I just take care of their Pilgrim and I set them back a whole turn. And then by the time they rebuild and get into, you know, a real creature territory, then I go, okay, you can have your Elf back and we're gonna kill your real creature, like your 4-drop or whatever.
Once the Avacyn's Pilgrim just doesn't matter that much.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. And obviously being able to kill tokens has become a really big deal in Standard with the Voice of Resurgence making these gigantic elementals.
And it's also worth noting, when Fiend Hunter gets rid of a voice, they don't get a token.
Also true. You've also got 2 cards here, really giving a lot of bang for the buck. One of them is a little underplayed, Face Shield, but I think it's going to see some big games at this Grand Prix. The other one is Silverblade Paladin. We've seen Silverblade Paladin before, obviously, you know, back in Aristocrats and Hexproof and various other white aggressive decks. You're kind of bringing him back here. How good is Silverblade Paladin in this deck?
Yeah, he's an easy 4 of. I don't think I ever sideboard him out. He's a way to deal massive amounts of damage, and especially with Slayer's Stronghold. I mean, there will be games.
Keep coming back to it.
Yeah, so I'll go turn 3 Paladin, pair it with the guy, attack with like a Knight of Glory or whatever, and so then they're like, okay, well, I got to deal with your guy, but then I still have a Silverblade Paladin in play. I go Judge's Familiar, pair it with the Paladin, stronghold it up, attack for 6 in the air, just with the
Sure.
1/1 flyer that I just drew.
Definitely a strong interaction. The Silverblade Paladin obviously allowing for some heavy hits. Slayer Stronghold again, in the conjunction.
And he's the primary target for Faith Shield.
That makes a lot of sense. As he's the card you're investing almost the most mana in. Like besides Restoration Angel, he's the most expensive creature in the deck, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Faith Shield's one of those cards that you can just really get someone with, because when you're playing cards like Restoration Angel and just like all these different cards that they have to deal with, having to also play around Faith Shield is just another thing that a lot of times I just can't do it.
I'm really coming around on Face Shield. I've seen a lot of decks start to feature it. Shui Nakamura has been championing this green-white aggressive deck that runs it. Bant Hexproof runs a few slots of it very frequently, and now we see it in this Boros Winnie deck. I feel like Miami might be a Face Shield weekend, so if you see any blowouts on camera, I called it. I'm taking all the credit.
Hey, until M14 comes out and I get Brave the Elements, I'll be sporting Faith Shield.
All right, well, good luck with Brave the Elements in the future, and good luck in the tournament, Craig.
Thank you, Glenn.